You know that feeling, right? That gut-wrenching moment you see a debt collection pop up on your credit report. It feels completely overwhelming, and it's so easy to think your financial goals are just gone. But here's the thing, you have way more power than you think. And this is your guide to taking back control. And let's be real, the stakes are incredibly high. This is from a real person on Reddit, and wow, it just captures that panic perfectly, doesn't it? It's never just about a number on a screen. It's about the big stuff, buying a home, getting a car, building a future. And that one little negative mark can feel like a giant brick wall. And the immediate hit, it is just shocking. A single, solitary collection account can tank your credit score by 50, 100, sometimes even more points, practically overnight. It is truly one of the most damaging things that can show up on your report. So you see that score drop, you feel that pit in your stomach, and you're asking this exact question. Okay, what now? Well, that's exactly what we're going to break down. We are going to turn that panic into a concrete plan. Okay, first things first, we've got to understand exactly what we're dealing with. A collection isn't some temporary glitch. It can haunt your credit report for up to 7 years from the day the original account went delinquent. 7 years. That's a long time for one issue to follow you around. So why the huge score drop? What's the deal? Well, it all comes down to this. Your payment history is the single biggest piece of the pie when it comes to your FICO score. It makes up a whopping 35% of the entire calculation. So a collection? That's like a giant flashing red light in the most important category, telling every lender you failed to pay a bill. All right, to build a solid strategy, you have to know who you're up against. And listen, it's not always the company you originally owed money to. There are two main players in this game, the original creditors and something called junk debt buyers. Knowing the difference between them is absolutely crucial. So the original creditor, this one's pretty straightforward. It is exactly who it sounds like. It's the bank, the hospital, the credit card company that you had that direct relationship with in the first place. They have all the original documents, probably your signature, and the entire history of your account. But then there are these guys, junk debt buyers. These companies are a whole different animal. Their entire business model is to buy up massive portfolios of old, forgotten, charged-off debt for like pennies on the dollar. They didn't lend you any money, they just bought the right to try and collect money from you. And here's where the difference becomes your secret weapon. An original creditor, they've got all their ducks in a row with complete records. But a junk debt buyer? They often buy the debt with very little actual documentation. Sometimes it's just a spreadsheet with your name and a balance. This lack of paperwork is their biggest weakness, and honestly, it's your biggest advantage. Understanding their weakness brings us to the most powerful part of this whole process, knowing your rights. You are not powerless in this situation, not at all. In fact, federal law gives you some incredibly powerful tools to protect yourself. I want you to think of these two laws as your personal armor. The FCRA, the Fair Credit Reporting Act, makes sure the info on your report is fair and accurate. And the FDCPA, the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, sets strict rules for how debt collectors have to behave. They are your shield and your rulebook. So under the FCRA, you have the absolute right to dispute anything on your report you think is inaccurate or incomplete. But here is the key word, the most important word, unverifiable. If a debt collector cannot prove with documents that the debt is yours and all the details are correct, it must be removed, period. And that other law, the FDCPA, that's what protects you from being bullied. Collectors can't harass you, they can't lie to you, and they can't use any shady, unfair tactics. Just knowing that gives you the confidence you need to stand your ground. Okay, so we get the impact, we know who the players are, and we know our rights. Now it's time for the game plan. Let's walk through the actual, actionable strategies for getting that collection off your report for good. Here it is, your core strategy broken down into 4 simple steps. We're going to start by making them prove it's your debt. Then we'll leverage disputes. And finally, we'll explore some powerful negotiation tactics like pay for delete and goodwill requests. Your first move, almost every single time, is this: send a debt validation letter. And you have to send it via certified mail. This isn't just you asking a question, it's a formal demand under federal law that puts the burden of proof squarely on their shoulders. They have to cough up the documents that show you owe the debt and that they legally own it. All right, let's talk about the big question I know everyone is thinking about. If you just pay the collection, will it vanish?
Well, the answer isn't a simple yes. If you just pay it, the status will update to paid, which is better than unpaid, but that negative mark, the collection itself, can still sit there for 7 years. But what if there was a better way? And there is. It's a strategy called pay for delete. This is a negotiation. You offer to pay an amount. And hey, you can often settle for less than what you owe. And in exchange for your payment, the collection agency agrees to completely delete the entire account from all your credit reports. Poof, it's like it was never even there. Now listen up, because I cannot stress this enough. If you remember one thing from all of this, let it be this. A verbal promise over the phone means absolutely nothing. You must get that pay for delete agreement in writing on their official company letterhead before you send them a single cent. Without that paper trail, you'll have zero proof and zero leverage. So once you've dealt with the collection, the journey isn't quite over. The final phase is all about the comeback. It's about rebuilding your credit score and proving to future lenders that you are a responsible borrower from here on out. And the playbook for this part is pretty straightforward. Number 1, pay every single bill on time, every time. That is your foundation. 2, keep your credit card balances low. The experts say to use less than 10% of your available credit if you can. You can also get a nice boost by becoming an authorized user on a family member's healthy credit card or by building fresh, positive history with a secured card of your own. So I'm going to leave you with this question to think about. Your credit report tells a story about you to anyone who looks at it. Right now, that collection might be telling a chapter you never wanted written. But by using these strategies, you can take the pen back. You can make sure the story it tells tomorrow is the one you want to tell. A story of control, of responsibility, and of real financial strength.